I've been hiring strangers to flirt with my husband. Last week, he recognized one of them. Last year, my husband Elijah fell asleep at the wheel driving home from a double shift and crossed into oncoming traffic. The crash was so bad that the car caught fire and he was trapped inside for 6 minutes before someone pulled him out. He survived, but the left side of his face and most of his arm didn't look the same anymore. The first time he saw himself in the hospital mirror, he didn't speak for 3 days. When he finally came home, he covered every mirror in the house with sheets and flinched whenever I tried to touch him. Last month, I woke up in the middle of the night and found him standing in the bathroom with the lights off. "Babe, what are you doing?" He didn't turn around. I'm trying to remember what it was like to not be disgusting. I reached for his shoulder and he stepped away from me. Please don't. I went back to bed and cried until my alarm went off. The next morning, I started looking for a way to help. The first person I hired was a barista at the coffee shop Elijah goes to every Monday. I paid her $20 to compliment his eyes when he ordered. That night, Elijah sat down at dinner and said, "The weirdest thing happened today." I kept my face neutral and asked what. He shrugged like it was nothing. The girl at the coffee shop said I had nice eyes. She was probably just being polite, but still. He was almost smiling when he said it. I told him maybe she meant it, and he shook his head. Come on, nobody's looking at me and thinking I have nice anything. But he was still almost smiling. The next week, I paid a woman at the gym to ask if he could spot her, and then tell him he looked strong. When Elijah got home that night, he stopped in front of the hallway mirror and looked at himself for a long time. He rolled up his sleeve and examined his arm. He didn't smile, but he didn't look away either, and for him that was huge. I started hiring more people. A man at the grocery store who asked Elijah for his workout routine. A woman at the bookstore who reached for the same book and told him he had good taste. Elijah started standing taller. He started making jokes at dinner again. One night, he caught me staring at him and asked what I was looking at. I said, "My handsome husband," and he didn't argue with me for the first time in a year. Last week, he kissed me for the first time since the accident, and I burst into tears. He pulled back, looking scared. "What's wrong? Did I do something?" I shook my head. "Of course not. I'm just really happy." He smiled. "Yeah, me too." Over the weekend, we went to the bookstore where I had hired that woman a few weeks back. Elijah wandered off to look at the history section, and I was browsing the new releases when someone tapped me on the shoulder. It was her. "Hey, I'm so glad I ran into you. I forgot to get your Venmo last time." I felt the blood drain out of my face. She kept going. "You said you would send me the rest of the 50 afterwards, remember? I can just give you my info now if that's easier." I heard footsteps behind me and turned around. Elijah was standing there staring at us with a book hanging loose in his hand. "Send her the rest of the 50 for what?" The woman looked at Elijah and then looked at me, and I watched her realize what she had just done. I could see Elijah's jaw tightening as he waited for an answer. He asked again, slower this time. "What did you pay her for?" I could feel my heart slamming against my ribs. The woman opened her mouth like she was about to say something, and I jumped in before she could make it worse. I told him she was a coworker, and I owed her for covering lunch a few times. The woman quickly smiled and agreed. Elijah looked at both of us for a long moment, then nodded and walked back to the history section. That night, I found Elijah standing in front of the bathroom mirror again, and this time he was smiling. I think I'm starting to feel like me again.